Hello everyone, I am Imran Malik. I am going to present overview of agronomy activities in ACIAR, Cassava, Value Chain and Livelihood program. First, I am going to talk about a little bit of the background and then the project, uh, followed by objective and results. Agronomic activities will be presented in more detail when individual countries are going to present their results. Let's look at the cassava in Southeast Asia. So more than 8 million farmers are growing cassava and approximately 4.2 million hectare is under cassava cultivation and it is increasing. And it was food at the beginning and it has become now industrial crop and very much export oriented. I would like to focus you on this table. On the left column, you see the production, harvest area, yield, then fertilizer, different kind of fertilizer, inorganic and organic. In the top column, top row, it's all the different countries. I would draw your attention to the yield in Lao is the highest in all the countries among in the region, and Cambodia is the second highest. Then let's look at the fertilizer. Lao has got the lowest input in inorganic or organic fertilizer, and Cambodia has got the second lowest among all the countries, but they have got the highest and second highest yield. It is because they are moving in these two countries. The new areas are being getting into the cassava cultivation, so that's why their yield is high. But though if you grow cassava year after year in the same land without application of fertilizer, then the yield is going to go down, and we have seen that in other studies. So it is very important to apply fertilizer to stop degrading the soil so that cassava can be grown sustainably. The start of the project, we did a survey about the understanding of fertilizer, what the farmers understand about NPK, and this is the result of the survey. It shows that there is hardly any understanding regarding the fertilizer. So what is the way forward? Business as usual. That means farmer will grow cassava and not adding any fertilizer. So that will degrade the soil and eventually there wouldn't be any cassava. Nothing will grow on that soil. But there are other opportunity as they are not applying fertilizer at the moment. There is opportunity to increase yield by introducing high yielding varieties, improving management, and strengthen linkage with the stakeholders. So the first task was to determine whether the agronomic changes created can significant incentive for adoption for household scale. I would like to thank ACIAR to initiate these two projects and also thank all the partners. So Lao, we have got partners in Cambodia, in Vietnam, and in Indonesia. We work in collaboration with them for the agronomic purposes. Funding from ACIR provide salaries and some operations, but we received some more funds from RTB, from Kavak, and we also organized a workshop from Crawford Fund in collaboration with University of Western Australia. We hosted MSc student from University of Western Australia. Field Crop Research Institute also come on board to do some activities. And National University of Lao, we hosted joint student. So all these partners contributed to these agronomy activities that has been done throughout the project. The results that you are going to see that are under the objective of 2 for both projects. And in this objective, it is mainly participatory evaluation of new technologies, so like new varieties, fertilizer management, and so on. Agronomic activities were carried out in close consultation and participation of the farmers. It's like varietal selection we have done, but the main focus was on the fresh fruit and the starch yield. At the latter stage, the disease resistance also become very important. For management, we also demonstrated in consultation with the farmers and other stakeholders how to apply fertilizer, when to apply, how to plant, and how the weeding need to be done, when the weeding should be done, and then also discuss with them the economic benefit. Initially, we did plot experiment, then we go for large field demonstrations. Here is an example of a good management practice and a poor management practice. On the left side of the screen, you can see it's full of weed. You hardly can see any cassava, but believe me, there is cassava. And on the right hand side, it's a good management, clean field, and a good crop. For variety evaluations, we have taken the approach of comparing the farmer's variety, that is, the farmers are growing on their field, and take our high yielding varieties to them and grow side by side in the plot areas and show them which one is better and which one's yield has come out better and the starch content is better or the disease resistance is better. So like you see in here on the left, KU50 is pretty miserable, but Rayong 11 is doing pretty well. And this is in Laos for witch's broom. And this experiment is in Vietnam. You will see these results in detail when the respective countries are presenting their data. Here are some of the varieties that we have recommended in different countries for different reasons. So like KU50 and KM98 performing a little bit better in Cambodia, where CMD is a major problem. In Laos, it is also, there is no CMD there, but Rayong 11 is better in tolerating cassava witch's broom. Malang 4 and Faroka came out very good and high yielding, and it's become very popular among the farmers. In Vietnam, BK and the HL11 and those are becoming more popular, and also there is a difference in tolerance to or withstand to CMD disease. At the start of the project, when we were discussing with the stakeholders, there was a concern among the starch factories that they want to have cassava year round because there is a lag period, there is rainy season and there is no harvest. And so we try to look at whether if the cassava grows all year round, so if we grow them and harvest them all that every month, whether there is any yield penalty or what are the limitations. So we look at it and we found that the fresh fruit will increase over time, but the rainy season harvest has a lower starch content, and there is also a disease risk, especially the root rot during the rainy season. For fertility management, we looked at different options. So like readily available in the market, whether that can be used. because when we recommend farmers with single fertilizer, so like potassium, nitrogen, or phosphorus, applying separately, then it's become a bit difficult for them. So we were trying to find out whether there is any formulation that is available in the market and that is actually good for cassava cultivation. So we look at that option in all the countries, but every country had got different formulation that is available. But we also compared that with the single fertilizer, single nutrient fertilizer applications, like only N or only P or only K. And also we looked at different density, so like 10,000 plant per hectare or 12,000 plant per hectare or more. So what are the effect? So you will see those results in detail later. So here is the picture. You can see on the left, this is no fertilizer, and this is the fertilizer. Adding the fertilizer, the difference is very clear. And this experiment is in duck luck. So we look at the different options I mentioned before that available NPK. So there was some has got 1:1 N and K, and there are some a little bit more. And we also tried higher doses in different areas. So like Lao market available fertilizer are 14,535 and 15,718, and they came out almost similar. But we also compared them with the single mixed fertilizer application and how much the price difference or economic benefit of that has been presented to the farmers on field days. For soil management, the main focus was minimize nutrient loss. For that, we also tried intercropping with legumes, grass strips, and cassava residues, whether that actually help in reducing nutrient loss. In Indonesia, maize is one of the crop that we tried as intercropping, as sometimes it happened that farmers walk away from cassava because of the price difference. Um, but industry would like to have the cassava farmers to grow cassava. So to intensify the cropping system, we also tried that one, especially in Indonesia. In Laos, the intercropping was tried in Cambodia as well. It was a bit challenging to convince farmer to grow another crop. They were at the beginning very enthusiastic with the hope of getting more income from the same field, but the scarcity of farm labor become an issue, and also there was some in some places like Laos and Cambodia, farmers were not very much interested. But in Indonesia, maize has become popular, and the cassava farmer can get another extra income by cultivating maize in between when cassava is still young. So it has become really popular. We also look at the nutrient removal by the harvest roots. So as all the roots are being harvested and taken away from the field, um, so then all the nutrients that are in the roots are moved completely. So like leaves and some stems are going back to the field, but the roots are all gone. So we looked at it. There was two students working on it, one from University of Western Australia and one from um, Lao National University. That's actually our Lao Tao. Many of you already know him. So they did a master's on this project. And we see that when we add fertilizer, even then, a lot of potassium is being taken away. So there is a deficit always. So we recommend that we should always add nutrient, otherwise over time there will be a serious shortage of nutrients, especially potassium. Abiotic stresses like drought, waterlogging was there always, but biotic stresses was very less in the cassava system, but this has become a new challenge for cassava industry in Asia. We first noticed cassava mosaic disease in one of our trial. Then we quickly decide to go on to screen varieties that are available or popularly grown in the region. And thanks to Kavak came on board to work together. And we have done 2 years of experiment already in Cambodia. And we also screen in some varieties in Vietnam, and more work is going on. We have also imported elite lines from ACIAR headquarters and also from Africa, materials that are resistant to cassava mosaic disease are in the region now. So we are going to try those varieties in different agroecological zone, and hopefully we'll get something that are resistant to CMD. We have already get some result, and those are really promising. As the biotic stresses has become more prominent and becoming a threat to the industry, so what should be the direction for agronomy? So clean management practice should be the primary focus, that clean stakes, timely weeding, and fertilization. Early detection and data sharing is one of the key factor, because if we don't know where the diseases are, so then the potential of moving the disease from one place to another become much higher. Rapid multiplication and deployment of disease-free planting material. So CIAT has got a rapid multiplication system, and we have already bring those system into the region, and we are going to implement that. I think Jonathan Newby is going to give you an overview what we are doing in the future. Change in cultural practice like crop rotation, intercropping, that could help in minimizing the disease pressure. Biological control is also one of the options. Of course, genetic resistance, we need to look for it, and yes, we are looking into it. Overall conclusion can be drawn like improvements in agronomic performance varied considerably between countries, sites, farmers, and years. Some technologies provided attractive benefits, some are not so good, and there are some very straightforward changes can happen. So like new varieties will farmers will take up. In many situations, there is an ongoing need for some form of facilitated extension, as unlikely that current stakeholders will scale to a large number of farmers, especially for more complicated technologies. I would like to thank again all the partners and ACIAR for giving us the opportunity to work on this project. Thank you.